In part 2 of my interview with Dr. Quarles, he shares KCTCS's proposal on dual credit and addresses questions about faculty tenure. We pick up our conversation with efforts to ease the course credit transfer from 2-year colleges to 4-year universities.
Well, regardless of what happens this session, we are already working very hard with our R1s like UK and U of L to renew transfer agreements. And just 2 weeks ago, we signed a historic deal with Western Kentucky University, and the other comprehensives are in line as well, to make sure that if you are a student at KCTCS, you get your associate's degree, that it's a seamless transfer to a public and also our private universities here in Kentucky as well. However, we still occasionally sometimes hear of a student that took a class that did not have that class transferred. So we're trying to work the kinks out. We know that the General Assembly, CPE, and the governor's office all want us to make sure that we have a seamless one Kentucky higher education system. In KCTCS, we have 14,000 students every year transfer to a 4-year. And so we're going to continue to renew our transfer agreements, but also identify perhaps a class or two that may have a kink.
Right, yeah. I did not say that I was going to ask this, but it made me think about it because there were some discussions today a little bit that didn't quite go there about tenure.
Yes.
And you know that Representative Tipton has the bill about, it's not really called tenure, as he pointed out during a committee hearing, but it has some effect on the firing of faculty and even the president, should he or she not be doing his or her job. What would be the potential impacts on KCTCS if that measure were to pass?
Well, we do have tenured faculty members at KCTCS, but not at every college as well. So again, we're going to wait to see what's actually in the bill to see how it would impact us as well. But as a sitting president, I would encourage an annual evaluation, which is actually required by my Board of Regents. And so for us, we're going to wait to see how it impacts us.
Yeah. What do you see as being some pressure points on the community and technical college system? Well,
we have a commitment to access for all, affordability, and workforce. And so one thing we pride ourselves on is that we're half the price of a 4-year public university in Kentucky. We need to make sure that we don't price ourselves out of the market. Well, at the same time, I have 4,000 full-time teammates at KCTCS. And so when it comes to our budget, we like to say we're the value leader in Kentucky, but at the same time, we need to make sure our tuition is affordable. And so there's always going to be budgetary pressures as well. The other thing is that we're happy to be educating Kentuckians who've had a couple bumps in the road, whether they're in our prisons or in our jails, they're seeking treatment at a recovery center across Kentucky. And also, don't forget, we're the largest provider of GEDs in our state. Over half of GEDs are awarded through KCTCS. And so when we're educating Kentuckians that may need a little extra help, it costs us a little bit more. And so that's another area where we're proud to do that work.
Well, thank you, Dr. Quarles. It's always a pleasure.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate
Anything
it.
else you'd like to add?
Well, it's springtime in Kentucky. A lot of students are choosing where to go to start their college career. High schoolers are currently taking our dual credit classes. And so start with us, and then the sky's the limit after you get through a KCTCS diploma.
So that reminds me of another question.
Yes.
There's a recommendation for you all to be the sole dual credit. Is that right? And why do you want to have such ownership of it?
Well, right now, KCTCS provides 70% of all dual credit in Kentucky. And so my team, after a full year or so of an analysis, recommended that we become like Florida, where we are the sole provider. However, we know that politically will not happen. And so we just want to start a conversation about dual credit in Kentucky, because now there's so many choices for students. I think it is appropriate that we work with CPE and our other public universities and privates so that our high schoolers have a better and maybe advising opportunity when they choose which dual credit classes they're going to take. So we just wanted to start that conversation.
Yeah. Enrollment at Kentucky's community and technical colleges is up by 7% from this time last year. President Quarles says KCTCS is working toward a more active role in preparing students in aviation maintenance as well as stonemasonry.